Welcome to Mylers podcast, your cybersecurity news from an analyst and a noob. I'm Garrett, your cybersecurity analyst.
And I'm Julie. I'm the noob.
So if you're new in this podcast, we cover recent events in cybersecurity news. So our first story comes from Ferrari. They apparently experienced like a ransom attack involving like a customer list, including names, phone numbers, addresses, emails. What I think is interesting is that while some outlets are reporting it as a ransomware attack, I actually don't get the impression this was a regular ransomware attack. The press release that Ferrari gave, they talked about how that they were recently contacted by a threat actor with a ransom demand, and that upon receipt of the ransom demand, they did X, Y, and Z. Typically, in a ransomware attack, like the hard drive is encrypted, and the system, becomes instantly unusable, and you're just left with a ransom note that says, pay us X amount of Bitcoin to have your data unlocked.
Yeah. So they lock them out, you didn't say the magic word.
Yes.
Like that?
Exactly like that. Yeah.
You didn't say the magic word.
Please! God damn it! Hate this hacker crap.
Which, if this wasn't a ransomware attack, if my suspicion is correct, that makes it, to me, it makes it sound like it might have just been an insider threat. Maybe it's not like a regular hacker. It was just like an employee that had access to their customer list and decided they wanted to buy a Ferrari themselves.
Yeah, I guess so. They just slipped them a note with cut out magazine letters, and they're like, "We have your info.
Yeah,
give me Ferrari."
Yeah.
Or money, whatever.
I suspect they, demonstrated that they legitimately had access to the contact list by providing maybe the first 100 customers or something like that.
Sure.
But, so to me, this isn't a very particularly interesting attack. It wasn't effective. Ferrari said they didn't pay the ransom, and it didn't affect their very good. It didn't affect their operations. So I thought this was a funny story, though, because of some of the hype that was around it. The title of this article is that it was the platinum card of data breaches, just because Ferrari customers are high net worth individuals, I guess. And this quote in the article, not from the author, but someone else that was quoted in the article, said, "Ransom-style attacks focus on targets who have the combination of money and urgency to maintain their operations if interrupted." That's absolutely true. And a luxury car brand fits both of those criteria, which in this particular case, it seems to actually be the opposite, because Ferrari didn't pay and it didn't impact operations. Ferrari is trying to send the message to be responsible and help their entire industry by telling financially motivated attackers, look, we
don't play.
Yeah, we don't negotiate with terrorists. No. But this quote kind of undermines that message. So, oh well.
A luxury car brand is totally overrated.
What?
Ferrari.
Oh yeah, was it the article that made you think of that?
Yeah, that's what reminded me.
Babe, wait, babe, no!
All right, so our next story is a supply chain attack, which was from 3CX. It's a VoIP or voice over IP desktop client, and the application itself was hacked and then sent out to all their customers, which was 600,000 companies use this VoIP client, and including big players like McDonald's.
Not McDonald's.
Yeah, I know. It's a favorite for ours with all of our small kids. We're constantly going there. So,
constantly. Too much.
And an attack on McDonald's is practically an attack on our family.
Personal. I take this very personal.
Yeah. So the type of attack is called a DLL side loading. So I've got a picture of the kill chain from the Hacker News. Basically, when the malicious software is loaded on the computer, it basically loads a malicious DLL or dynamic link library, which is like a little mini executable that can be typically shared by other applications.
Okay.
But that DLL then will encrypted shell code from another DLL, which then reached out to a GitHub repository to pull down more malware, which then eventually got more the final payload.
It's like a bad chain reaction.
Yeah. A bad chain reaction. That's right. But the CrowdStrike, with high confidence, attributed this attack to a North Korean state-sponsored hacker group called Labyrinth Cholima. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but I thought it was also interesting is that one of the malicious DLL, or no, I think it was like the shell code actually. It was like a byte for byte match for shell code used in previous North Korean malware. So that's probably a big aspect that went into CrowdStrike's high confidence of attributing it to North Korea.
That's too bad. I'm young though.
Our last story is called the Vulcan Files. Yeah, Vulcan is I guess Russian for volcano, but it's a name of a company in Russia that is like
no, it's an alien race in Star Trek.
Oh, well, that's your world. I don't know much about that. The Vulcan is like a company that supports Russian state-sponsored hacking.
Okay.
So they apparently it was leaked by someone, maybe a Russian who worked for the company. I don't know, but it was leaked by someone who was pretty upset at Russia's invasion of Ukraine. And so, which was like, it was apparently leaked.
As we all were.
Apparently it was leaked like days after the initial invasion. So over like a year.
Time ago.
Yeah, it was like a year ago.
You said these were current events.
Well, it was just published. It was just published a couple days ago, and it took like 11 investigator journalists organizations were involved.
Okay.
So it's kind of weird that to me it took that long. But the files kind of detail at least 3 different programs that this company provided for Russia, and one was called ScanV, which is basically like it scanned internet for vulnerabilities just to use in attacks.
Sounds like a really basic sort of.
Yeah. Another program was called Crystal 2V, which the documentation, the files suggested were like top secret software. But again, this doesn't sound too exciting to me. It was just a program that helped train like Russian cybersecurity hackers on how to attack civilian critical infrastructure like rail, airports, water ports, electric power generation, which is nothing new. We've long known that Russia is targeting civilian critical infrastructure.
Yeah, knock it off.
No good, no bueno.
Stop.
So again, it could simultaneously train up to 30 hackers. I mean, that's interesting. Obviously, it's always interesting, especially, I mean, it's kind of my specialty is critical infrastructure. So, but
you should be more interested, but it's too boring.
it's just kind of run of the mill for Russia.
So basic.
And it's training. It's not like real world, exploitation. It's training.
Makes sense.
And then Amizit. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Amizit, but basically it's sounds like primarily a domestic like influence operations. So similar to how the Internet Research Agency tried to influence the election by creating fake Twitter accounts and Facebook groups and stuff. Yeah,
social media propaganda.
Exactly. Yeah, but it sounds like it's mostly like in Russian targeting their own people.
Mm-hmm.
So this is one example that came from the Guardian's reporting. Putin, number one leader. I don't know. You do accents better than I do.
Excellent leader.
There you go. So those are the 3 stories I wanted to cover, but now we'll move on to a segment we like to call Beyond the Scope, where we basically talk about something not cybersecurity related, something that you're interested in.
Well, I thought this week we would celebrate Gwyneth Paltrow and her victory in her skiing incident trial that just happened.
Oh yeah, that lawsuit. she was part of.
Yeah.
So the decision was made that she was not liable.
Yes, not liable in that. And good on her. Maybe she's not. Maybe she is. Who knows? But she was found it, so congratulations. But I just thought it kind of we had talked about it earlier, and your initial reaction was that she's probably guilty, just because you had very little information and based on the guy's injuries and things.
Well, yeah, I mean, I have years of experience skiing and snowboarding, and I've been sent to the hospital a couple times. And when there's two people
Like
involved,
Gwyneth Paltrow?
no, not like Gwyneth Paltrow.
Got excited for that.
She's notorious in the ski and snowboard community on the
slopes.
slopes. No, I've seen the more serious collisions I've seen is typically someone going too fast and slamming into someone from behind.
And then the person getting hit is usually the person who.
Yeah, because they didn't have to prepare. The person behind can kind of like see that they're about to hit someone and have a second to
brace for impact.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's why I kind of thought, but I think as I looked more into it, it sounds like this guy has been like hounding and looking for.
He seemed a little shady, and but it just kind of made me think about our justice system and maybe like, do people with more money or more influence get a truly fair trial? You know, like, did she have access to better defense lawyers or to more, you know, like I saw they did a recreation of how the event took place based on her, you know.
Oh yeah, she definitely has, you know, top notch attorneys. At the same time though, like she probably has a bigger target on her back, like with deeper pockets, you know, for people to kind of
take advantage of or
just try to see a potential payday. And the lawyers that he hired, you know, that the plaintiff hires, should be, if they're going after a big payday, they should be good. And they're typically working on contingencies, so they probably shouldn't have taken the case unless they felt they had a fair chance of winning.
They were going to get that sweet goop money.
The goop money.
Yeah.
Although at the same point, something I just thought of was that maybe attorneys may be more likely to go after like a case like this, because even if they don't think they'll win, maybe they just get like notoriety and get almost see it as like a marketing opportunity.
Fame. Oh, you gotta be careful out there, guys. Careful on the ski slopes. Careful who you pick as your lawyer.
Congratulations,
Gwyneth
Paltrow, I guess. Stay safe on the slopes.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Watch your back.
Well, that concludes this episode of Cyber Mylers. Stay tuned for future episodes.
All right. Thanks for tuning in.